Hey everybody, Gio Seti back at you here on the one and only Focus to the Finish YouTube channel. Today let's talk about handicapping angles. And you know what? I'm not going to get too deep. I'm going to cover a lot of individual stuff on other days. But I wanted to share some stuff with you today because, when you watch shows, the track personnel, for example, if you're watching a show at Gulfstream or Churchill or Aqueduct, who's employed there to give you information about the race in the paddock, in the booth. And you know what? There's people in the industry that somebody like me with a trained eye, I may take in what they say. I'm still going to have my opinion, but I'm somebody that knows if what someone says makes sense or is worthy of consideration for your handicapping. So today I heard a quote which made me want to do this show, and I'm probably going to be with you about 10 minutes, maybe 15 the most. So he says, and I quote, "This trainer," and I'm giving no names, "this trainer is 2 for 24 off the claim, up in class the last 5 years." Think about what I just said. First things first, it's way too much salt, unnecessary information, too much salt on your dinner. What happens when you put too much salt on your dinner? It goes from enhancing the taste to make it unedible, something you won't enjoy. And the reason for that, and think about this from a sports perspective. Hold on, I'm just checking something here. From a sports perspective, when they say a good hitter, say you got a great hitter, he's a solid 280, 300 hitter in Major League Baseball, even a 310 hitter. You don't got many guys hitting 350 anymore. But a solid, dependable hitter. Drives the ball in the gaps, makes contact. So then they give you a stat. This hitter is only 2 for 28 versus this pitcher. You know why that doesn't mean anything? Because what if he had 8 swings, 8 balls that he scorched, that should have been hits that were grabbed, whether it was a line drive to the third baseman, a hot shot to shortstop, or a big play made in the gap. It doesn't mean that particular player didn't have successful at-bats versus that pitcher. The end result was, you could say 2 for 26. The reason why I mention that scenario is this guy today talks about 2 for 24 off the claim, up in class, last 5 years. Last 5 years. Think about this, digest that for a second. Who is that horse running against? What were the distances of the races? How big were the fields? What was the track condition? Did he run big and got blocked or had a real rough trip? Or how about if he ran big in a mile and a 16th and he lost by a neck where he should have won? What I'm trying to say is, yes, listen to what you need to listen to, okay? But use common sense. A lot of that information like that, too much salt on your meal. Not needed. Totally unnecessary. So angles that do make sense, and I jotted a couple down because I didn't want to miss any. Of course, one that we all use, first race off a layoff, second off a layoff, or third off a layoff. Now, there's so many things that come into play with that. All right? Yes, you want a filly or a colt or an even older horse to have an indication of being fresh, fit, and dangerous. I talk about the workouts often. Obviously, you got to know the trainer, the conditioner involved, how he typically works a horse in preparation for that particular race. Are there quick breezes like 3 or 4 furlongs? Are there any gate workouts? If it's involving a turf try, are there any workouts on the turf or the synthetic? That sort of thing. Uh, you know, there are contributing factors to always consider. But I can understand looking at those and coming up with some sort of statistic on the process, you know. And then, of course, if you have a trainer that has a significant amount of success starting a horse after a substantial layoff, 6, 8, 10 months, even a year, how strong did it come back? How are they working? I get you know, you understand what I'm saying. Then, of course, I thought about first-time gelding. Now, first-time gelding for a lot of people is an angle, but what are the contributing factors? Okay, why did they geld them? Okay, now sure, obviously there's going to be the obvious, you know, better concentration, wasn't training right. They made a decision thinking that for a better racing career, more success, they'll geld them, not thinking about the tomorrows that lie ahead for him to be a sire. Again, it depends on the trainer involved and the circumstances around the race, but I can understand you considering that. And then, of course, the claiming game. First offer claim, second offer claim. What is the trainer doing? Is it going turf to dirt, turf to synthetic, stretching out, cutting back? You know, these are the things as a handicapper you will master and you will get more familiar with going forward because there are many significant contributing factors. And they all matter. Same with jockey records. How well they do in two-turn races. How well they do in sprints. What are their habits? Where do they excel? And where are they not as strong? I'm saying this, now look, you seasoned guys doing this for 20, 30, 40 years, I'm sure you can connect with or relate to what I'm saying. But I'm saying this mostly for the newcomers. Because you know something, where I am in my life, I like to teach people things. All right? You know, I could do a 2-hour show on race review. You know, I may do that. You know, what are the specific things that I want to see during race review? And, you know, there's a lot of stuff I know I'll share. Sorry if I got a double alive here and I'm checking out. There was a long wait to post time in this race at Aqueduct. But I'm going to end this show on this note. Please share in the comments, especially that one specific too much salt, waste of time angle. And if it's something you play and you make it matters to you, just remember what I was saying. How do you make a stat? If you don't know, if you didn't watch every one of those races, it's an absolutely useless statement, useless statistic, useless angle. It is what it is. Now, if you differ, let me know. And if you agree, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be doing some capping tonight. I did the whole card at Aqueduct for tomorrow, Saturday, and I'm working on Churchill's. I may share something publicly. If you haven't emailed me and you're not part of my email distribution, shoot me an email, focustotofinish@gmail.com, and stay tuned. If you subscribe to this channel, you'll get notifications. I'm going to do plenty of deep dives. And sometimes in the comments, I'm going to offer pick 3, pick 4, pick 5 information. Because you know something? I like helping people. I like helping people, at least position people for greater success at the windows. And you know what? If you're rock solid in your approach and you have the time and you consider many things, that's wonderful. If you listen to what I say, then you just have an extra pearl to work with so you can make a more informed decision in your process. Like I said, very few people that I open my ears and I listen to, because I know what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. what should be digested or absorbed, and what should just go right by you. It doesn't matter. All right, guys. I hope you and your families are doing great. And you know what? Weekends here. Let's go get them.